Grand rising, all of my kings and queens out there. I'm in New York right now, so the setting is a little bit different and I'm not gonna be able to do a typical vlog, but you know, I'm getting a video out today, every Monday. And part of my motivation to make sure I get a video out, even if it can't be, you know, my regular vlog, has to do with these tips that I'm about to give you guys. I'm about to tell you guys 3 things that will absolutely change your life, and then I'm going to talk to you guys about my experience with these 3 things. So first thing I want to tell you guys that will absolutely change your life is reading. We spend a lot of time learning, right? In school we spend like 12 years plus, you know, in school, in buildings where we're sent there to learn, right? The thing about school though is that we typically don't learn things that we actually need to know or that are actually going to benefit us in life. Like, we don't learn how to manage money. We don't learn how to manage our thoughts, to control our thoughts. And so with reading, you're able to learn so much more than just the ordinary and almost useless, I don't want to say completely useless, but not super helpful information that you learn in school a lot of times. And so something that has really dramatically impacted my life has been reading, and not reading just to complete a book, but reading to learn, right? Which is 2 very different things. And I recently, you know, had this realization where, like, I would buy all these books and try to read through them and like I'll try to read a chapter a day and all that stuff. And it's like, it was to the point where, like, I'm just reading this book just to say I read it. Like, I'm just reading this book to complete it, instead of actually taking my time, fully digesting the page, really internalizing the information that I just learned so that I can apply it. And now this knowledge that I just learned becomes wisdom that I've actually used and can use and apply in my life to actually make my life better, and not just reading for something for the sake of saying I read it or I completed it. So that's been a really big shift for me recently, is reading every day, even if I only get to read 1 page. But doing it every day creates a habit, and then reading to really understand and soak in that information. And when you're reading, thinking like, okay, how can I use what I just learned? Like, how can I use this? What can I do to implement this so that this stuff that I just learned becomes wisdom for me? It becomes power, actually, because I can now use this information that I just learned. I've been doing that a lot, and the science of the way your brain works is, like, when you receive the information, your brain, like, creates the neural networks, which is just like in your brain, it like makes a connection to the information that you just learned. And then once you experience that information, or you have like a physical experience with the information, or you apply the information, those neural networks become stronger, and that information just becomes like more ingrained in you. And that's as well as with repetition, same thing. Those networks become stronger and stronger and stronger. And so that's one thing that I've been doing that has been absolutely incredible, is just like reading every day, even if it's just literally half a page, and just really like focusing on the information that you're learning, and being like, how can I actually use this, so that I'm not just saying I have to read a chapter a day, but like I'm actually learning. That's been so big for me. The next thing that I wanted to talk about was meditating, okay? There was so much confusion for me around meditation, but what I've come to realize is that there's so many different ways to meditate. I'm gonna tell you guys 2 of my favorite ways to meditate. Some people say like the whole point of meditating is just to stop your mind, slow your mind, you know, and that is one way that people can meditate. Me personally, that was never valuable to me. However, there are 2 ways of meditating that I really have been enjoying, and that have really greatly impacted me in my life. So the first way is, so when you're gonna meditate, you're gonna close your eyes and you're gonna breathe in, and you wanna put in some like music, like meditation music, or you can even do a guided meditation. But what you're doing is you're closing your eyes. Your brain has the capacity to turn off your senses almost, in a way. And so what you're doing is you're disconnecting from your current reality, right? Like right now I'm standing on the street or whatever, but if I close my eyes and I like have the music in, so I'm blocking out my sense of hearing, right? And I'm closing my eyes, blocking out my sense of sight, and I just close my eyes and I focus on my breath, and all of a sudden I'm turning off like attention to my sensory, right? I'm still sitting in the chair, but I'm not paying attention. My brain is not consciously paying attention to the fact that I'm sitting in a chair. You know what I'm saying? It's focusing on nothing. You know, we start focusing on your breath, and then next thing you know, your brain gets to this point where it's focusing on nothing. It's just consciousness, right? Then what you can do is, humans are the only living thing that have an imagination. The only living thing. Dogs don't have imaginations, cats don't have imaginations, tigers, bears, birds, none of that stuff has an imagination. Humans are the only living thing that has an imagination. And it's so powerful because it gives us the ability to see things that don't currently exist. It gives us the ability to see things that are not real, that are not in front of us. Like no other living thing can do that, and it's so powerful if you know how to use it. And so once you disconnect from your reality, what you can do is you can paint a picture and play a movie in your head, in your imagination, of a future experience. So like for me, and y'all are literally gonna watch this journey, I envisioned me moving into my LA apartment, and I envisioned that it was so nice. It has a balcony with a beautiful view, and I just walk out there, and like it's so nice. And I envisioned myself in there. I envisioned my dog with me, walking right next to me, you know, into our new apartment, and like I just saw it in my head. And then what happens is, if you can get emotional about that experience, what it does is it prints a memory into your head. And I can't explain the science. If you guys want to check this out, like, and really understand the science of how this stuff works, check out the book Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. It is absolutely incredible. But what you're doing is you're printing, when you get emotional about it, you're printing in your mind like this memory, right? And that's why a lot of people, people can remember exactly where they were on 9/11, because it was an event that happened, but then it was highly emotional. And when you tie that emotion with that thought, it prints a pattern of neurons or neural networks that take place in your head as a memory, and you remember all of a sudden. And like, this is gonna sound crazy, but I remember moving into my Los Angeles apartment. Like, I remember exactly what it felt like. I sort of remember what it looked like, but I remember exactly what it felt like. Like, I felt it, like I was there. Mind you, this never happened in real life, but in my head, I saw it happen. Like, I felt it happen. And what's so powerful in that is, just as you can remember your past, you can remember your future. And now you can start operating towards the future. And it's like, you felt it, you've experienced it, and so your pull towards it is so strong. Y'all, every day I'm thinking about moving into my Los Angeles apartment because it felt so good. It was such an amazing experience. Mind you, I haven't done it yet in real life, but in my mind, I did it. Like, I saw it and I felt it, you know, and that's the power of our imagination. It's so powerful if we understand how to use it. And so you can imagine, in meditation, disconnect from your reality and imagine a future reality and feel it. And then you remember it because you felt it, right? The other thing that I like to do in meditation is, so the same way we can envision our future, envision the type of person that I want to be, the type of person that has a Los Angeles apartment, you know, with a beautiful view and all that stuff. And because here's a concept, a lot of times we put these labels on ourselves that, oh, I can't focus, or oh, I'm this, or oh, I'm that, or oh, I'm not good at math, or oh, whatever the case may be. But that's literally just a label that you're putting on yourself. The brain is neuroplastic, and what that means is it has the ability to change. And if your brain has the ability to change, you can change. Like, you can change. You have to decide to, though. And so one of the things that you can do that's really good for helping you do this is to identify a version of yourself, paint that picture in your mind. You have an imagination. It's one of your most powerful tools. You have an imagination. Identify a version of yourself who is whatever you want to be. Like for me, with uploading this YouTube video, getting this YouTube video out, even though it's not a regular vlog, and I could have came up with a million excuses why I can't upload today, you know, because I can't record a regular vlog. It's not going to be able to be the way I want it to be. But what I did was I created this reality, and I've created this identity where I am a YouTuber, and I never miss an upload because that's who I am, you know. Now, 2 weeks ago I wasn't like that, you know. Sometimes I missed an upload, sometimes I didn't get an upload out on time. But what I did in some of my meditations, this is the second way I like to meditate, is I saw a version of myself where I don't ever miss an upload. Like, I am a YouTuber. Like, I am a very successful YouTuber, you know. Like, I can afford to live in Los Angeles. Like, when I walk the streets of Los Angeles, people recognize me and they know who I am, and they say, oh my God, I love your videos. And because I saw that version of me, it's become a part of me, a part of my identity where I don't miss an upload. Like, I'm consistent on YouTube, you know. And that might not have been my reality up until a couple weeks ago, but now I'm like, no, this is who I am. I'm gonna choose to be a person who is consistent. And I saw myself in my head. Like, I saw a version of Kobe where he is very consistent. He never misses an upload. He does whatever it takes. He makes it happen. And now I'm making it happen. Like, here we are. I am making it happen. I'm literally filming a video, even though it's not a regular vlog, but I'm making it happen, you know? And it's like, you can really become whoever you want to become, and you have to be aware that what got you to this point where you are today is not going to get you to your next point, that future that you saw in your mind, that you envisioned in your mind. You have to become a new person in order to get to a new place in your life. And so the other meditation I like to do is just envision who is that version of me, right? Like, I remember moving into my Los Angeles apartment. How was I when I moved to my Los Angeles apartment? You know, because like I said, you remember your future. Who was I at that time? Like, who was I at that moment? Who was I when I was remembering? Who was I at that point? Like, I was probably very consistent. I probably, you know, put in work every day. I was very focused. I worked really hard. Like, and now I can model that him, you know? So that's been one thing that's absolutely has changed the game for me just in the last couple of weeks. I'm like doing things that I used to go to sleep every night at 9, 10 o'clock. I used to tell myself, I can't hang, I'm tired, I'm this, I'm that, I'm blah, blah, blah. And now, like, my new identity is like, no, I do whatever it takes. And I'm finding myself up at 10, 11, 12, midnight, you know, getting all my stuff done. And I'm like, who is this? You know, that's when you know you're on the right path, because you have to become a new person. You know, have you ever heard somebody that's really successful and they be like, I'm unrecognizable to the old me? You have to change. Like, you have to become a new person in order to reach these new levels, and what got you here is not going to get you there. So you have to become the type of person that will get you there. And then the last thing that has been a complete game changer for me is taking care of myself, self-care, putting that as a priority in the beginning of my day. So many times we get so caught up in doing everything for everything else and everyone else, and, you know, trying to take care of all your responsibilities and taking care of your bills, taking care of your responsibilities, taking care of people at your job. Like, you have so much to do and you don't ever do anything for yourself, right? And I want to tell you guys, when you can just take an hour or just some time to do something for you, it is so empowering. So I recently started this challenge on Instagram where, you know, we're all just committing to self-care every day in October. So, like, you know, drinking your water, going to the gym, or reading a book, or just complimenting yourself in the morning, or like all these little things. When you're just taking that time to yourself, in a way it almost feels like you're telling yourself, like, I'm worth this. Like, I'm worth this time. And the thing that I always say to people is, like, you have to treat yourself like the king you are before anybody else does. You have to love yourself before anybody else does. You have to care for yourself before anybody else does. Like, you have to know that you're worth it before anybody else does. You have to believe in yourself before anybody else does. Like, treating yourself the way you want to be treated. Like, I always say, like, treat yourself like the king you are, and everybody else will fall in line. And I have even noticed, I'll have conversations with people after starting back to self-care, and I notice people respect me differently now. And it's not like I did anything different, but I probably just show up different. Like, my energy is different, you know, my confidence is different. I just feel like people have been regarding me with more respect now. And like I said, it's not like I'm talking to them different. It's not like I'm saying anything different that I know of, but it's like when you take I notice for me, when I take that time in the morning, you know, I get up, I brush my teeth, and also don't just do this stuff just because, like, oh, I'm supposed to do this, I'm supposed to take care of myself, but like, do it and acknowledge, like, I'm doing this for me. Like, I'll be getting ready in the morning and I'll just keep calm, like, wow, I look so good, like, I'm it, period. Like, you know, like, and I would just do stuff like that in the morning. Every morning I would read and I would be like, I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm taking this time for me to elevate myself. Or I'm eating a smoothie in the morning, I don't know, I'm like, I'm putting good in my body, I'm taking care of my body, I'm taking such good care of myself. Like, you know, like, hey, just acknowledging that, like, you are taking care of yourself. One of the things that I used to be very lazy about is moisturizing my body, like, after I get out the shower and whatnot. And I started doing it and I'm like, yeah, I'm taking so good care of myself. Like this is king energy here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this is, I deserve this, you know? And I don't know, you go about your days like with your head just a little bit higher, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really know how to explain it. All I know is when I started doing it, like, my confidence is shot through the roof. I feel so much better, so much more energized, so much more just ready to take on the day. And that's been a huge game changer for me. So taking care of yourself, doing some self-care stuff every single day. Like I said, I take my mornings to myself. It's all about me, you know what I'm saying? Meditating every day, don't miss a day, you know? Even if it's just for a couple minutes, you know? Envision your future or envision the version of you that you want to become. Just spend time in that. Because I'm telling you, next thing you know, you're gonna look up and your reality is going to be with the same thing that you saw and experienced in your mind. And y'all will see, I'm so excited for this vlog channel because I get to show y'all like the journey, you know? And I just know that I'm gonna be moving to LA in an apartment with a beautiful view on a balcony, and I'm gonna feel safe. It's gonna be a modern place, and it's gonna be the beginning of a whole new journey. And then the other thing is reading every day, and reading to learn, not reading just to complete a book, but reading to learn. You know, I'm on this one book and I read like, what, 4 pages a day, because they're big pages, and they'll teach you a lot, but I'm learning so much. And the whole purpose of me reading it is to learn, not just to say I read this book, you know? That doesn't matter if you didn't get anything from it. And so it takes me a long time to read it, but I'm learning so much. And these 3 things have been complete game changers for me in my life. And I hope that they can be for you too. So thank you guys so much for watching, for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, as it really supports the channel. And if you are looking forward to more videos like this, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so that you get notification every time I upload. Also, if you feel like any of these tips could be very helpful to anybody you know, then definitely share this video with them. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.